the thing about regrets is they never telegraph when they're going to come into your unconscious mind.
Oh, interesting.
They never say, it's like sometimes, we have out here in California, we don't have that many earthquakes, to be honest with you, but it's great because it keeps the population a little lower than it needs to be. But, so because people, I could never live in California because of the earthquakes. I go, that's right, stay in Ohio. So the thing about it is, we get sometimes these little rumbles, and they're the precursors to what's coming. And it allows you, if there's more coming, you can kind of prepare and do what you need to do and so on and so forth. They're the pre-quakes. Regrets, they seem to hit me at the oddest of times.
Interesting.
And, they come into my mind. And next thing you know, it's like, ooh, or ow, and it's something you don't want to deal with. And, for an Irishman, it often leads to a glass of Guinness, or it leads to, focusing on sports, or for everybody, right? We end up going to all these other places. In the book, one of the things that really jumped out for me, and get a little technical with it, is this whole dynamic of counterfactuals.
Yeah.
And how they can affect us. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that for a moment.
Sure. It's an important point, because one of the things that regret teaches us, not only does the regret make us human and make us better, but we should be impressed with our ability to regret things. It takes a lot of cognitive dexterity. Our minds and our brains are incredible. And one of the things that our minds and brains do is exactly as you say, counterfactual thinking. That is, we can conjure events that run counter to the actual facts. And there are two broad categories of counterfactual thinking. One of them is what's known as downward counterfactuals, where you imagine how things could have been worse. Downward counterfactual is too complicated. I like to call it an at least, okay? So one kind of counterfactual thinking is at least thinking. And it's this. So it's fascinating. One of the things that you see is that if you look at the facial expressions of Olympic medalists, you'll find that gold medalists are the happiest, but bronze medalists are pretty psyched. Bronze medalists look really happy. Why? Because of the counterfactual.
Yeah, at least I got a medal.
Exactly. At least I didn't finish fourth like that schmo over there doesn't have any medal.
Or my wife in the Olympic volleyball, by the way, which, it was 1988 and we're still talking about it. Yeah. She didn't get the at least.
But so we think about how it could have been worse. And here's the thing about at least, that kind of counterfactual thinking, that makes us feel better. And feeling better is cool. All right. Now, there's another kind of counterfactual thinking, which is an upward counterfactual, where you think about how things could have turned out better. An upward counterfactual, I like to call that an if only. If only. And that's the silver medalist. The silver medalist is saying, if only I had kicked harder in those final 25 meters, I'd have touched the wall first. If onlys make us feel worse, and regret is an if only. But here's the thing. If onlys make us feel worse, but done right, if onlys help us do better. At least don't help us do better. If onlys make us feel worse and help us do better, arguably, if onlys help us do better because they make us feel worse, and if we treat it right.